Toon Goons, the podcast in which we take an adult and critical perspective into the world of cartoons and animation and analyze how they affect the pop cultural landscape at large. I'm one of your hosts, Nikki.
I'm Nina.
And I'm Adventure Tooch. I was going to come up with something more complicated, but then I remembered we never did an Adventure Time episode.
No, we haven't.
We just spent the first dozen episodes talking about it at the end all the time.
We're like, Adventure Time's not any fun anymore, but it's still the best show on television. Nina, did you seem like my eyes glaze over while I did that, or were you not looking?
I wasn't looking.
Because I'm curious to see what my face does during that intro. Because Nina and I are in the same room for the first time in like a year. Because we're home. She's home for Thanksgiving.
Yep. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody in America.
I swear, every time I remember it's Thanksgiving, I forget again in 5 minutes.
Well, that's because you don't work at a grocery store like I do.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to forget. So today we are talking about the Adventure Time miniseries Stakes.
Yes.
This is probably going to be a shorter episode, sort of a tiny Goons, because we're not doing any recaps this week because I haven't had a chance to watch anything because I've been busy with Thanksgiving work at work, is the excuse I'm going to use. And, I mean, I guess we're also going to talk about Adventure Time at large, but that's, like we said, every episode.
Yeah.
I mean, not lately, because, where the fuck it's been. Well, it's back now, but before that.
Yeah, that's true.
We got some news, and Nina's going to hit it off. Two really big things and then some smaller things. Want to start with sad or want to start with mad?
Tooch, you call it. What do you want to start with?
Let's save that mad one for last, because I'm mad.
Okay. Then we'll start with sad then? And work our way up to mad?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's go through one of the grieving transitions.
Well, alright, so the first story is probably the biggest story that dropped this week. Everybody's talking about it. All of you guys have messaged us to talk about it. So we're talking about it, and that is that Gravity Falls is almost over. There's only one more episode as of this recording to be aired, and the series will be finished forever.
As we know it. Which is like a thing, we'll get to that.
Yeah, so Alex Hirsch dropped a, pretty big Tumblr post on his personal Tumblr, which is SH...
It's Schmalix Schmerch.
Schmalix Schmerch, called Goodbye Gravity Falls. It starts off with a picture of a Dachshund in a crayon costume to make you feel less sad.
It's a pretty cool dog.
It worked.
It's a pretty cool dog. So this is 100% his choice. It's something that he wanted to do. We've known this for a while. He only wanted to be one summer vacation. It was going to be finite from the beginning.
He said in his AMA that we talked about, which he did in between seasons 1 and 2, that he had initially planned 3 seasons or 2 seasons in a movie. And given the way that the series was going, I figured it was going to be 2 seasons in a movie. And I think we may have talked about that before. Yeah. Just 2 seasons. This has been his plan from the jump, at least from the beginning of this season. He hasn't been able to say it until now because Disney wouldn't let him. I think for 2 reasons, and this is speculative. 1, they were hoping he would change his mind.
Yeah.
2, they wanted to milk it for all it's worth because they knew this is the last they were going to get out of this very successful show.
No one will be able to convince me that second one isn't true. That's technically speculation. That's what happens. That's what's happening. Because the next thing you're going to say, which I agree with,
is I forgot. Well,
because it's the same reason they've been stretching it the fuck out.
Yeah, exactly. They've been stretching it out for a ridiculous amount of time. I don't know if I said this on the show, but Gravity Falls and Korra started in the same year, and Korra wrapped up 4 seasons as Gravity Falls was starting its second.
Yeah. So yeah, it is happening. It's not a joke. It's just the way it is. It's going to be its own complete story. There's probably not going to be any spin-offs, at least any that Alex has planned in the, foreseeable future. He's tired.
Maybe they'll pull a Stitch and there's going to be a Gravity Falls anime. That'd be dumb.
One thing he said in this post is that he has pulled more all-nighters in the past 4 years than anybody he knows who doesn't work at NASA. So it's like he never graduated art school.
Yeah, pretty much.
The thing to keep in mind, though, is that with all TV shows, he doesn't own dick.
Yeah.
Mickey the Mouse owns everything. So, if they...
Is that his middle name, the?
Yeah.
That's my favorite way to denigrate Mickey the Mouse, is to call him... It's like you barely know who he is. So if they wanted to revive it in some way, say I'll let Teen Titans go. The creators of Teen Titans have nothing to do with that show.
Nope.
But Warner Brothers does, and Cartoon Network does. So they made more of it. So it's possible we could see more shit that doesn't have Alex Hirsch connected to it. Hopefully not, because that sucks. That kind of stuff, like on a fundamental aspect, sucks when that happens. Teen Titans is sort of weird, is an exception because, the guys who created the show didn't own Teen Titans to begin with.
Yeah.
It's not like Wolfman or Perez touched the show.
Not really.
Comic books are a weird exception to that. But this is, this started as a cartoon. It started as the brainchild and seemingly life's work of this one man. And to have some other people stretch it out beyond what it was intended to be would really suck, but it's something that is very possible.
Mickey, did you happen to catch the translation of the cryptogram that he left as a PS mark on this letter?
I did not. I'm going to try to see if I can find it anywhere, and we'll get back to you.
Alright, so now that we're all...
So there's going to be one more episode, Weird Mageddon Part 3. Release date obviously hasn't been announced, and I think now that Hirsch has finally dropped this, I would be shocked if it's before April of next year.
God.
So yeah, it's going to be a 1-hour finale, and then that'll be all.
Folks.
It's sad, but it's also bittersweet, because it's one thing he said, and it's one thing he said from the jump, is that, so many shows either go too long and they run out of steam, or they're shot down in their prime. And for a show like this where it's about solving a mystery, either one of those is really bad. Yeah. So the fact that he was able to successfully make a show that was exactly as long as he wanted it to be is a triumph. And he's
the king.
Consider the other possibilities. This is great.
Yeah, no, it is great. It's just so hard to believe because the show's barely on most of the time.
I want to get when it's all said and done, I want to and I say this after every damn show, but then this podcast takes precedence. But I want to freaking marathon this whole thing now that I will soon have that freedom.
Yeah, me too, definitely.
I hope they put out a good home video release, because so far...
I'm sure. It's just 2 seasons.
There's a half-season linear DVD, which is better than a lot of people get.
I'm sure they'll do it just because it would be easy, because it's only 2 seasons and a bunch of shorts. Just, it could be 3 discs. Bam.
Yeah. That would be nice, but who knows. So anyway,
I'm sure the commentary would be dope.
Oh my god. You'll have so much fun with that shit.
Yeah, it was both sad and happy to see it go, because it was great. It continues to be great. It's gonna be great, and it's gonna be. Hopefully, it has timelessness to it. I hope in the years to come, it's always remembered as amongst legitimately good stuff.
Oh, I bet.
I hope the children of the world remember it.
I think the cryptogram at the end says "Stay weird."
Okay, that makes sense. All right, so next story is
because Oregon.
Thought that was Austin.
It's both.
Okay. All right. So the next story is interesting. Edgar Wright, the director of Shaun of the Dead and Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, that comedy guy, he is going to be directing an original animated feature centered on the concept of shadows.
For DreamWorks.
Yeah, for DreamWorks Studios. So he's co-writing the screenplay with David Williams.
Williams?
Oh. Williams. I'm sorry.
That's
very
dumb.
British.
The Little Britain guy, which is probably hilarious.
Apparently, right, this isn't his first time directing animation. He had co-directed Adventures of Tintin, which I did not know.
That was supposed to be pretty solid, right?
It was pretty solid. I saw it. It was really solid, and it was the closest Uncanny Valley I'd ever gotten. Sometimes I was watching all that mocapped horseshit, and it just looked like they were wearing prosthetics in some shots, and it was freaking me out. Yeah, Stone Cold Sober, by the way.
I heard that, what's it? I was going to say Pollock, but that's definitely not true. What's the name of the sailor?
Oh,
Haddock.
Haddock.
Haddock. I heard he looked a lot better than Tintin himself because he's more cartoony.
Yeah, he had the big nose and he had a lot of features, but then Tintin was just this really shiny, squeaky boy, and it was gross.
Yeah, Haddock has all those gin blossoms because he's definitely an alcoholic.
Drunk.
Oh
Just
God.
rip-roaring all day. He was great. It was almost like a super PG Indiana Jones tone, and I dug it a lot, and I wished they made more.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we don't know too much about the plot. I mean, it's not a reboot of that Me and My Shadow project, which you might have heard of, that DreamWorks was working on, but then got, like, scrapped. It's not the same thing. It's a different thing.
As long as it's not stop motion.
Well, Wright says that his
Stop
first...
motion shadow puppetry would actually make a dope short film.
That would.
Well, yeah, it's called silhouette animation.
Nina's taking a puppet class in college.
There's isn't there some super duper old film that was shadow puppetry, and it was like one of the first animated things. It was telling some Middle Eastern tale, but it was made in Europe or something. I forget.
Yes, it was Lot Ridinger's The Adventures of Prince Ahmed. It was the first full feature animated film.
Yeah, I know stuff.
With sound. I think that's the qualification. Because there was
it,
one before, I think, that film has since been lost. So this was the only one.
Eats dick.
It was an Argentinian film, actually.
That's twice eat dick. I would love to see that.
Yeah, it was really political and
I would kill the Pope to see that.
Yeah.
Oh, Nikki, what wouldn't you kill the Pope for?
Well, it's probably really hard.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's more a matter of if it's feasible.
Well, it's not like I would
It's less the morality and more the sheer difficulty of the act.
Well, you're saying it's oh, Nikki, he'd kill the Pope for a decent bagel. I was like, no, man.
All right. So their next story is that, sort of following up with all of.
Who was this sent in by?
This
was sent in by somebody.
Well, I found it before then, but yes, I credit the person who
beat you, fucker! Beat you to it.
Yeah, I hate to say it, but a lot of times I beat you guys. Sans likes Ashitaka, or San likes Ashitaka, it's a Princess Mononoke reference, sent us the story, and it's sort of a follow-up to all the stuff we've been hearing about Nickelodeon's reboots that they're doing, and that there's an official announcement that they're making a TV movie for Hey Arnold, a new TV film.
Very glad it's a TV film.
Yes.
Yeah.
When I first saw the headline, I was like, Hey Arnold couldn't sustain a theatrical film the first time.
Yeah. The TV movie will feature a storyline that picks up where the original series ended and resolves unanswered plot lines, including the whereabouts of Arnold's parents, long missing from the program. Executives at the network declined to offer specific date for when it will be ready to air.
I'm kind of disappointed that's what it is.
Yeah.
Because it's something that's so on the nose, and it calls for something that's more kind of a high adventure. It calls for something that's an adventure, and Hey Arnold's not about that.
Well, that's what Craig Bartlett wanted to do.
That is right.
The Hey Arnold jungle movie or whatever, where they essentially did go on a high roaring adventure into the jungle to find his parents.
That's true. Is Bartlett attached to this?
Let me see. It was very vaguely put. I don't think he is. Okay, see, this is why I'm confused. It says Craig Bartlett, the creator of Hey Arnold, was pitching a different idea and started talking to Nick executives about the ways the character from the old series continued to gain mentions in online forums, citing fan art, fan fiction to short films on YouTube. Barrett will be writer and executive producer on the new Arnold movie.
That's the only instance of that name, and they wouldn't say that unless they said a full name first, so I think that's just a typo.
Okay, so...
Yeah, which Variety is supposed to be better than, I think.
The Variety doesn't stand for how many times you can spell a person's name wrong.
I mean, it's in the same paragraph,
we can assume from context that he is writing and executive producing the new Hey Arnold, and then it says Hey Arnold Move. Not even movie.
Oh, was this a first draft?
Yeah.
Huh, it's almost like major news outlets don't give a fuck about animation.
So that's something to keep an eye on.
Yeah, we'll see how.
Because if Bartlett's attached to it, I'm a little. I'll keep an eye on it because then it could be that catharsis we never got. But frankly, what I would like more out of Hey Arnold is more like just a bunch of kids in the city sitting around.
Yeah,
like
play some stickball.
Like some kind of catharsis, not just for Arnold, but for all the characters. Like, so we can get an idea of like what these kids are going to be like when they grow up. Like we can feel like confident that like, yeah, these kids are going to be all right somehow.
Except Sid. He's gonna catch something.
Alright, and then one quick announcement before we get into the mad section of our show. And that is, after this miniseries, Adventure Time is continuing on December the 2nd at 6:30, 5:30 Central on Wednesday for a half-hour special called The More You Mow, The Mo You Know.
About BMO, and I think Aziz is coming back.
Aziz!
I think I read
boy.
that.
I was just confused because I thought Mo didn't have an E in it.
Wait.
No, the creator of the Mo.
Oh, right, yeah.
Mo.
Okay.
Did.
Okay.
Because Nina, at first, I don't know if she's being facetious or not, but she read it as the more you mow, the moa you know.
Yeah, that's how I read it at first, because goddamn, I hate the internet, and Mo's not a real person's name anymore. It's just the guy on The Simpsons, that's it.
Or that taco place. Alright, so our big mad story.
Ooh!
Is infuriating. Alright, so we'll just get to the point. Lauren Faust, fan favorite here of the show, is no longer directing Medusa at Sony Pictures Animation. Last weekend at the CTN Expo, Faust revealed publicly that she was no longer working at Sony on the feature film Medusa. It would have been her theatrical directorial debut. She's, if you don't know who we're talking about, she's a 20-year industry veteran. She created the My Little Pony Friendship is Magic. She worked on Powerpuff Girls and Foster's Home and Super Best Friends Forever and all these awesome things.
Well, she created Super Best Friends
Yeah,
Forever.
she created Super Best Friends Forever.
And we said the other week she worked on Iron Giant. She was just doing
Iron Giant. She worked on Cats Don't Dance too.
Yeah, and she has got those cool like Milky Way and the Galaxy Girls doll line that she created. Like, she's just the coolest person.
She's the coolest, and she tried so hard to crawl out of the fucking pony pit that she regrets digging herself probably. And they fucking like, but that's my other thing. That's one thing. Like they had that whole big video where she talked about how great it was and how awesome it was gonna be, and then obviously you get someone like Lauren Faust who just makes like who's making the most press at that time. Like if she makes any movie, every gross awful brony is gonna be in those seats getting tickets, and you're just gonna dump that. Like now you've got. I would have to imagine. That like there's some awful stupid thread that's like, my name's Fart Sparkle Dash, and I'm boycotting this movie, and you should join me. Do you want that, Sony? That's what you got. I hope you wanted it because you're getting it.
This is what she said. I very much enjoyed my time at Sony Pictures Animation and was extremely excited about the progress our amazing team was making on Medusa. But as it happens at so many studios with so many projects, we ultimately ran into creative differences on the direction of the project. I do not know if Medusa has been shelved, but I am no longer working on it or at Sony.
You shut down Popeye. You give the boot to Gendy. You shut down Popeye. You give the boot to Faust. Possibly shut down Medusa. At best, Medusa is gonna be your Brave. Now,
well, Medusa,
that's what it's fucking comes to.
Medusa is still in active development with the original producer Michelle Raimo Koyate, who's still attached to the project, and Sony Pictures Entertainment president Christine Belson is championing the project and currently looking for a new director.
Okay.
So it's still happening.
So really, this all hinges on the new director and if they're gonna show up and be like, let's throw it all out.
Yeah, I imagine that argument that she read about creative differences. Faust is like, well, I think this movie should be good, and Sony's like, we think this movie should be bad. What could Lauren Faust make that is bad? She's never made anything bad.
Never in her life.
No.
Not publicly, at least. And probably not privately. She's great.
I don't know. The film is supposed to be a reimagining of Greek mythology. It was picked up from an original pitch by Todd Alcott and Holly Golden. It's been described by the studio as a clever, heartfelt animated comedy about a girl who's having the ultimate bad hair day.
That doesn't sound like the movie she was talking about before.
The ultimate bad hair day.
Because it's snakes.
I'm really upset. I was really looking forward to this film.
I mean, if
I would kill the Pope to get Lord Faust reattached to this project.
I mean, there are so few female animation directors out there, let alone theatrical ones. Like, yeah, the first animated feature-length film to be directed by a woman was Kung Fu Panda 2, and it was directed by Jennifer Yu Nelson. In 2011. And this would have been, the second one to be directed by a lady. 100
years of animation history, one woman.
It's insane. And I love Medusa, and I love Lauren, and I just wanted to see what she was working on, because she spent years on this fucking shit, and
I mean, I don't know we don't know how far the production is, how much of what she worked on will stick, or if they'll try and find somebody with similar, that's gonna go in a similar direction so the movie's not a mess and the production's not fucked up.
Well, they don't want it to be in a similar direction. That's why they kicked her off the film, is because they didn't like her direction.
I don't know.
And it is so strange, because they did that whole feature on their YouTube channel with her.
Yeah.
And, her talking about her life and her experience with animation. And
that's what I'm saying. I don't get anything people in charge of making movies do. I've never understood a single decision they've ever made.
It seems like an active resistance against TV animation people into theatrical animation.
Maybe. I mean, it's only 2 instances, and I don't want to conspiracy this, but jeez.
I mean, it's not a conspiracy. It's a weird pattern.
Yeah.
And it always did strike me as odd that there was never an overlap. I always thought it's the same industry. I thought the people who are good at this shit should be showing up all over the place, not only in these specific realms, right?
I mean, does live action TV cross over with live action Hollywood that much though?
I mean, actors can be on
J.J.
TV.
Abrams has done both. He started on Lost, and now he's directing fucking Star Wars.
He didn't start on Lost.
He didn't start on Lost, but he worked on Lost, which sucked. And now he's making Star Wars. So, he crossed over. He didn't start with movies, did he? I guess I have no goddamn idea.
He kind of worked in tandem, kind of. He started as a writer. His first directorial debut was Mission Impossible 3 in 2006, and before that, he was working on TV. Yeah, his first big hit was Alias.
This is a fucking almost 9-minute video they did about her in this fucking movie. I'm
just gonna give her the fucking boot now. What are they doing?
And they showed some of her drawings from when she was in first grade. They're great. So I was right.
Yeah, so that's our news for this week. It's kind of all over the place.
Fuck you, Sony.
Sony is on my shit list. Really. I mean, canceling that Popeye project.
That pilot looked so good!
I know, you made Gendy do what you wanted to do. You made him make that stupid Transylvania movie, and he did a really good job making it, and he wanted to do his own thing using
He did your stupid thing twice!
He did your stupid thing twice, and you wouldn't let him do his own thing, even though it looked amazing, and it's a popular franchise that's beloved for generations. You're stupid. You're a bunch of idiot people, and you don't know what you're doing.
To think I wanted to buy your PlayStation.
I was thinking, I'm gonna throw my PlayStation in the garbage. I was I need to play.
Yeah.
But, how will I play Guilty Gear?
Xbox.
With guilt.
Well, okay, that's our news. That is it.
Yeah,
Three-pointer. 3-point slam dunk like the end of Space Jam.
Our arms are so long.
Oh my god, you didn't watch that last week's Harvey Beaks, Nikki, but there was a Space Jam reference.
I bet it's delightful.
It's a pun with yams.
Space Yam?
Come on and yams. And no, it's come on and slam, and let's all grow some yams.
Oh my god.
It was...
That's the best.
That episode's the best.
And that's our recap for this week.
Yeah, that's our recap for this week. That episode was great. We loved it.